So here I am at the wing demo here in downtown Miami. They're going to be doing some delivery operations in a minute. I'm just here as an observer with representing the FAA Safety Team that's for the South Florida district. And we just going to just observe pretty much and hopefully get to interview and ask a few questions specifically regarding these type of operations and the different type of protocols and redundancies they have in terms of safety and things like that. But so this is what we're doing here today. All right. Once again, this is George with the FAA Safety Team attached to the South Florida District Office. And I'm here with Jesse from Wing. And for those of you who don't know what Wing is, you can just visit wing.com.
That's right.
And you'll get all of the information about Wing and what they're about, right? But I have some specific questions I'd like to ask, if you don't mind, Jesse.
Not at all.
And my first question is that, for members of the public, I know as a drone pilot myself, sometimes they're concerned about drones and about safety. So can you talk about the safety of the wing delivery operations? Talk a little bit about your detect and avoid system, how they function, and about your delivery operations. What are your safety protocols and redundancies to ensure that these operations are safe?
Great. Safety's always been our top priority. And so let's start with the aircraft design specifically. We can talk about redundancies. What you see behind me is it's just over 11 pounds. This aircraft and Wing has completed hundreds of thousands of deliveries to homes. And the design of the aircraft is a lot of foam, similar to maybe the foam you might find in a bike helmet. There's of course some structural components, but it's designed to be lightweight and highly reliable at the same time, all to feed into that safety priority. On the aircraft, you'll see hover and cruise propellers. There are redundancies there. We also have redundancies in our flight planning and navigation systems as well, just to always ensure reliability and safety because this is a commercial operation. In integrating with the airspace, again, safety is top of mind there. So you mentioned detect and avoid. We do have ADS-B in. So if we detect something in the airspace, our aircraft are programmed to remove, potentially land, return to the nest, but ensure that we're safely integrating with the system itself.
Can you share with us the process with regards to integrating these types of drones into the national airspace systems in both controlled airspace where Miami Airport, for example, is I think probably within 5 miles of here, and as well as uncontrolled airspace in rural areas. Talk to me about what you've done. I know you mentioned some of this in the previous question about those protocols.
Yeah, so I mentioned ADS-BN, so that is a part of how we safely integrate into airspace. But we do fly it in controlled and uncontrolled airspace. In controlled spaces, we of course work closely with the FAA to get the right permissions. We have no-fly zones, near airports, etc. But we make sure we have all the right permissions to fly in that controlled space. We do a lot of our operations in uncontrolled airspace, and so in those instances, we're still using those systems to make sure we're sharing the air not only with traditional aircraft, ADS-BN is a key part of that, but also with other drones. We have a system called UTM, traffic management for drones, where we make sure we can safely share the air with those operators as well.
So talk to me a little bit about your relationship with the FAA.
But the FAA has been, of course, critical to our entire process of coming from the lab to the point where we're now scaling and commercializing with partners like Walmart and DoorDash. The FAA was part of the start of commercialization, of course. In 2019, we received the first permissions to fly BVLOS, or Beyond Visual Line of Sight. That was, of course, a very important unlock for our operations and what they look like today. So we've continued to lead the way not only in permissions, but ways to consider safety and how we can, again, responsibly integrate with the airspace that we operate within. Today, we not only fly in Dallas, which was the first major metro that we've operated in, but we also fly in places like Charlotte, Houston, Atlanta. Florida, where we are today, is another key state that we're looking to grow into. So we have our sights set on Orlando, Tampa, and Miami. But we're really looking to grow, but it's of course in partnership with the FAA, the permissions, and the things we need to do to stay safe.